When it comes to this being a propaganda move, you rightly pointed out that this is somewhat counterproductive. If it was intended to boost the morale of society, it achieved the opposite effect right now. Do you think, however, that this could be the beginning of some sort of broader anti-war movement? Or is the opposite true? Is it simply the evidence of the fact that Russians will not do anything against Putin until they themselves feel threatened by, say, a plan to mobilize them to draft them into the army, and that they are protesting only because it interferes with their own sense of personal security and nothing more?
It looks that the Russians are not protesting against the war, against the crimes committed by the Russian army in the occupied territories. They just don't want to be drafted to the army, so it's a different issue, and they prefer to save their skin and to escape from the country because they don't like to get killed, to be the victim of imperial project of President Putin.
So for as long as they have the chance, they will be trying to get out of Russia. Of course, the window of opportunity is gradually closing for them. Now, looking at the situation within the Russian society, if this is not a trigger for any sort of series of protests, what would need to happen, in your opinion, in order to essentially, for the Russian society to feel, well, the authorities have crossed the line now, we need to do something? Is there anything like this at all? Or is it simply the case that any changes at the Kremlin will come from the top and not from the bottom?
It is like so-called smuta, a kind of decadency, because definitely there is no plan for overthrowing Putin and to replace him with some moderate politician. There is rather an opposite concept of ultra-Nazists, ultra-nationalists in the Russian government.
The hardliners, yes.
Hardliners, we can call them hardliners. They are just they are criticizing Putin for being too soft, and they are calling for the use of nukes. And they have probably some support on different levels of the political and military and intelligence elite in Russia. So it's difficult to say. People are just reacting because they are afraid of being sent and they don't want to get killed, but they are not protesting against the government. So it's like alienation. The Russians are somehow alienated from the mainstream of the Putin's politics. So it looks like a collapse of the system. It looks like a beginning of the collapse of the system and probably the fragmentation or even collapse of the Russian Federation as a state.